According to Austin Business Journal, you need to make $98,000 a year just to live comfortably in Austin. Is that true? Hey, Jeremy Knight, the Night Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Look, Austin tops the list of best cities to live in, best capital cities, fastest growing cities, best tech cities. The one list that it's on that it's not good, number 12 on most expensive cities to live in. Now, as we saw in our last video that I did, which was the affordability on Texas, we actually noted that Austin is the most expensive city to live in Texas. So in today's video, we're going to actually look to see if you actually need to make $98,000 a year, or is there a more comfortable cost of living for you? And I know what you're going to say. Compared to where I'm moving from, Austin is absolutely more affordable. Yes, that is true. There are areas that are higher taxed areas and have higher housing costs, but that mentality is actually leading to an affordability crisis in Austin. We'll take a look at that as well in this video. In this article, it does say that you need to make $98,000 a year, and if you're renting $94,000 a year, but it says the average income in Austin is actually $63,000 a year. Now they're going off of the 50-30-20 rule, which is 50% of your income goes to necessities, 30% to fun, and 20% to savings. What I also found comical is when I was doing research for this video, I came across this article, 4 Reasons Not to Move to Austin. Number 1, Austin's the most expensive city. I thought that was funny. All right, so let's look at bestplaces.net first. Now, it's saying that Austin is 19% higher than the US, which is actually way higher than the Texas average. But if you look down the list here, groceries are cheaper than the USA. Healthcare is cheaper. Housing, though, is 159%. And it even says that the median price is $369,000. We'll get to that in a second because that's absolutely wrong. Utilities are a little bit lower, but transportation's higher. Well, right now you can actually get gas in the $1.17 range. I don't know how long that's going to last. All right, so we noted that housing is the most expensive on this list, and that's truly what separates Austin. So let's look at those housing costs. According to this rent website, it actually shows that the average rent is $1,700 a month for a 2-bedroom. That's insane. Now, if we look at these stats from the Austin Board of Realtors, it actually shows that the median price for a home is $415,000 in Austin. Now, you can't go outside of Austin, and the median's about $353,000, which is a little bit better. But let's compare something there. And this is what I think a lot of people get in trouble with, and that's the taxes. The tax rate is much higher in Texas, and it's going to be pretty high in Austin. The average tax rate in Austin is 2.21%. And if you go off that $415,000 mark, that's $9,100 a year in property taxes. We don't have income taxes, but property taxes are much, much higher. And if you go off of maybe $300,000 home and you buy outside, well, the property tax could be 2.96, which is actually $8,800 a year. Now, here's where people get in trouble with that mindset that they're coming from a more expensive area, is that if you do homestead your property, taxes can go up 8% per year. So let's look at that $9,100 becomes $9,900 a year, and that $8,800 a year becomes $9,500 a year. And then on top of that, it's going to go up the next year and the next year and the next year. Now, you can protest those taxes every year, which we help our clients do. But if you got to think about that, every year, if your income does not go up, your taxes will go up. At a certain point, you actually will get taxed out of your home. And I've had to help clients sell their homes because of that scenario. But you're saying, oh, I'm renting. Well, those costs get passed on to you every year with an increase in your overall rent, and that happens. All right, so what does $415,000 buy you in Austin? Well, we have this great property right here on Finch Trail. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath in South Austin, just under 1,900 square feet. It's actually listed at $415,000. Tax rate is 2.19, and that gives you an estimated taxes of $76.90 a year. Much lower than we talked about, which is great. So what does that actually give you for mortgage? Well, if you put 5% down on a property like that, your mortgage is going to be $2,700 a month. So do you really need to make $98,000 a year? Well, let's look at livingwages.com. I pulled up the information for Travis County. By their estimation, for 2 people living in a home or renting is $43,000 a year combined. Now, I have some major issues with their accounting on this, because if you look at their living costs, it's actually $13,000 a year. Based on that $1,700 a month that we actually talked about for rent, that's actually $20,000 a year, $7,000 more. And if you're actually going to buy a home, that which we talked about, it's $32,000 a year in mortgage. So that's wrong, because that should be then $52,000. And then if you're going to have that mortgage, it's $63,000. Hey, that's actually the median income in Austin. But let's look at something that we haven't talked about. If you have a kid, well, let's look at the numbers here. If you have one child that's saying that you need to make $58,000 a year, and that is dead wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. When I had my son going into home daycare, it was actually like $800 a month. Now, that works out to $9,600 a year if you're doing your math. But once I put him into another facility in pre-K, it was actually $15,000 a year. So if you're going to rent, now you need to make like almost $63,000 a year to cover that expense. And if you're going to have that mortgage, well, you got to make over $72,000 a year. Now, keep in mind, based on all these costs, that's not even giving you savings. That's basically what you need to live here. Now, do you actually need to make $98,000 a year to live in Austin? No. And there are more affordable options by living outside of the city, but you need to at least make $75,000 a year combined income if you have a kid. Jeremy Knight, the Night Group, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you have more questions about this or want those links, they will be below. If you have more questions about any of this, make sure you reach out to me and I'd love to answer those questions for you. Have an awesome day. Make sure you watch these videos and subscribe.